Alright, so what's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, guys. I am David. On today's episode, we are going to put the Kioti ck2610, I feel like, to the ultimate weightlifting test. As much as I can possibly do anyway. So my neighbor had a tree come down, they cut it up, and I was asked would I be interested in having taken the wood, and I said sure. Anything you guys don't want, please feel free to drop on my front lawn. As you can see behind me, they dropped a bunch on the lawn, and there's some really big pieces in here. I was told this was a locust tree. Now, I'm not an arborist or anything like that I would know every single species and all that kind of stuff. If you're watching this video and you happen to know what kind of tree this is or what type of locust this may potentially be, feel free to drop us a comment and let us all know. I also do not know what it weighs per square foot, or I don't know how to weigh this thing out or nothing like that. I can only imagine that some of these logs are probably the better part of 1,000+ pounds. Now, the Kioti ck2610 will lift 1,600 roughly in the rear and roughly 1,600 or so up front. Now, my thoughts are I'm going to start with the grapple bucket and my box blade, because the box blade is about 400 to 500 pounds, and see what can we lift with just that alone. If that doesn't work out, my next thought is to grab my carryall and drop one of the bigger logs that I can pick up onto the carryall, ratchet strap it down. This is me being very creative at this point, putting that weight out back and seeing if it will lift it up with the carryall to give me another maybe 1,000 pounds out back to give my lifting capacity up front a little bit better. So I'm really pumped to see what this thing is going to do. Let's just get right into this. I can't wait anymore. Let's go. Okay, so the first one you saw me lift over this way, that's probably about five or so feet. I don't know, about 20-inch diameter, something like that. I don't know how heavy it was, but I felt as though the tractor did not have much issue, even when you kind of like lifted it up a little fast. The back end didn't try to come up or do anything. So I felt as though the box blade handled that one just fine. It picked it up, it moved it. Very happy, very impressed with that. So the next guy, this guy, that's a 6-foot grapple. So this thing is probably 9 feet and probably about 24-inch diameter or something like that. It's maybe 10 feet, I don't even know. I think it's pretty long, and it did lift it with the box blade on it, but I was not bringing that thing anything more than like an inch off the ground, as you saw. Because it was very apparent the front end, the back end was definitely going to lift up, but it did lift it. So that just means we need to add more weight out back. So now what I'm going to hope for is to go grab the carryall and put this log or that log on the carryall to see if we put that substantial weight out back, A, if the carryall will even lift it up, and then B, once we got that amount of weight out back, if we're gonna have a much easier time lifting this stuff out front, which statistically speaking, not even statistically, logically speaking, that should be the case scenario. The more weight you have out back, the better off you are up front. So, but this is the actual practical use of it, and I can't wait because that thing was freaking heavy, man, and you felt it in the machine, but it did lift it. So, super stoked. Let's keep going. I'm gonna grab the carry-all and let's see what we can do. Okay, full disclosure, I don't know the breaking point of the carry-all or any of the pins that are on it that connect to the quick hitch and any of that stuff. I would only assume, because the rear of the tractor can lift over 1,600 pounds, that everything would be rated accordingly. I don't know, I don't think that my carry-all would only carry 1,000 pounds knowing it's getting attached to a tractor that can lift 1,600 pounds. I don't know that to be a fact. This is just what I'm assuming. So we are about to find out. So I bought a big boy ratchet strap, and I'm gonna try to, I was thinking of initially just setting the carry-all here on the ground and just taking a grapple bucket and setting something on top, and setting a log right on top of the carry-all and then strapping it down and then picking up the carry-all with the quick hitch on the tractor. And then I thought, because of the way they're lined up, I can probably just dig into the ground a little bit with with the carry-all, even if it hits to hit that log. And once it hits that log, maybe just kind of get it to roll up onto it and then ratchet strap it down. So I figured let's do it that way because that might be more fun. So let's get it done. All right, so that is heavy, but the 3-point hitch definitely lifted it up. I felt the whole back end sink down in the front, not really rise, but I felt the back end really sit down. That thing is heavy. We're gonna trap it down because I feel pretty confident now that that's in the air. I feel very confident that I can lift every single thing else up in here because that's probably the biggest log that we have here. I think that one over there looks really long, but it doesn't look that big. On the same token, let's be extremely clear, I could grab a chainsaw and cut these things down and all of that fun stuff and and do it that way, but this is way more fun, and I want to see what the Kioti ck2610, I want to see what it can do. In order to know the limit, you have to take it to it. So I think we're pretty close, but maybe not. We might be able to even get more out of this tractor. I don't know, but let's get this thing strapped down and let's get some wood moved. Alright guys, so as you saw, no way was the tractor lifting up that particular log. Now, I did not realize that was also one really long piece, and by the time I did realize it, after you saw me pick up the one initial long one, I realized I was definitely not going to budge that, but there's only one way to know that limit. You have to take it to it. So we did meet our match on this particular log. It was so big, in fact, I went and got my tape measure and took a quick measurement to figure out how long that log was and how big it really was. It is a 23 feet in length, and the base of it here is 21 inches. So it's a really big log. The top part is not 21 inches. The top part was 10 inches, I do believe. So it went from 21 inches to 10 inches, but it has a whole bunch of little offshoots and stuff on it. So it's a really big log, and I didn't think the tractor was going to lift it. Now, I don't know if that's I don't have enough weight out back. No, I take that back, because it never lifted up the rear end at all. It just wouldn't lift the log. So never mind. That thing, that's obviously more than, we'll say 1,600 pounds. I think the tractor may lift like 18 up front, but yeah, that thing is huge. That was awesome try for it. It was an awesome go for it. At the end of the day, I'm just going to take my chainsaw and just cut it down and move the log. Not a big deal, but it was super awesome just simply trying. Also, I think I said earlier in the video, or actually I know I said earlier in the video, that it was a 6-foot grapple. My grapple is not 6 feet. It is a 60-inch grapple, which, if I do the math, is 5 feet. So it's a 60-inch grapple, not a 6-foot grapple. So I want to stand corrected on that also. But whatever the case, that was freaking awesome. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me for that experience. It was so cool. If you guys got any questions, drop it down in the comments. I think I might later on, off camera, I think I might cut a piece of the log, put it on a scale, and then kind of do a little quick math, because I'm really curious to see how heavy that is. And then also for the big log out back of the tractor that I put on, I might cut a little sliver of that also, put it on the scale, and then do some measuring and just kind of get some quick measurements to figure out how heavy the log is out back. Really curious to know the actual numbers to them. So if anybody's curious, drop me a comment down below. Maybe I'll make a video about it if you guys happen to be interested in what the actual weights turned out to be. Excuse me, allergies. So we're gonna end the video here, guys. Thanks for joining me once again. And as always, 2 things. Do not forget to take the time to enjoy what you do. Do not forget, work does not do itself. So don't be afraid to get out there and get after it.